We've been talking about the things we tell ourselves, the chatter that goes on in our minds, how we make sense of reality in our own minds, and how our minds control how we live, how we work, how we function, how we operate. Our minds basically has got a constant tape running that is telling us and justifying and reminding and accusing and judging and remembering. There's a constant tape running, and we've been looking at it because we're needing to understand it, because it controls virtually all our behavior. And however much we want to change our behavior, if we don't change what's going on in our mind talk, our self-talk, what we tell ourselves, how we justify our actions, will never change our behavior. And so often, we want to change something, and we buy a book on how to do this or that better, and we'll read the book and we'll try it, and for 6 months we'll change a little bit, and then we'll find out we'll drift back to where we were before. It's very hard to change our behavior because our mind has got a set. We have a mindset, and the mindset basically controls how we are and who we are. And so we are needing to ask ourselves, so what is my relationship with my mind? And why we're talking about it tonight is because our mind tends to take dominance. Our mind tends to dominate how we interpret reality. And we each do it in our own way. You'll see two siblings, two brothers in the same family, will have totally different nature, totally different character. And they'll interpret reality differently because they take different information and manage it differently. And so out of the same experience have a different expression. But we tend to think that's me, that's normal, that's how I see, that's reality. And we'll swear that that's reality. But somebody else will see the same reality and say, no, it's not like that, it's like that. And then we'll have an argument, and then we'll try and work out who's missing one point, and we find something wrong with their argument or with their position and dismiss what they see and carry on with our position. I mean, all arguments are basically trying to find a weak point in the other person's argument to dismiss everything. So instead of adding up all our perceptions, we tend to cut them down, and we say who's right and who's wrong and whose view is the best one. So we don't live in a community of perception. We tend to live in isolation of perception, and that's largely because our mind says this is how it is. And it gets even more dramatic when two people are married and they see differently and they start arguing, they start fighting, and before long they're throwing things at each other, and it doesn't last long that they fall apart because they think, well, there's something wrong with you. You don't see it how it is. And they both say that to each other, and they don't realize that, well, actually they have different points of view. They're different ways of seeing. And it's not about who's right and who's wrong. All of us are right, all of us are wrong. Because it's a much bigger picture, and we each have one little slice of the picture, we each have one piece of the jigsaw puzzle, and we can say, well, my piece is the right piece. Well, so is yours and yours and yours and yours, and all of us. The point is, how do they fit together? Because reality is one, our perception is all the different pieces. And so we needed to understand how to dialogue, to connect with each other in such a way that we get the bigger picture.